Hello, and welcome to Creighton University's Advent with the St. John's Bible. I am David Crawford, Creighton's University Archivist. Here at Creighton, we're very fortunate to have a heritage edition of the St. John's Bible on loan to us. In the past, visitors came to our rare books room to see the breathtaking illuminations, but this year during Advent, with social distancing encouraged and classes done for the semester, we looked for other ways to share this wonderful Bible with the community. Our Advent with the St. John's Bible is an online series of Advent-themed conversations that allow us to gather, albeit remotely, each week for moments of reflection and guided discussion inspired by the beautiful and sacred works of art. We've not recorded the series, so Brianna Hauser, our graduate intern with the St. John's Bible, and I decided to recap each session with a short video that will share the images and insights from the week. I want to say up front that we will not be able to recount all of the points made, and I certainly will not be as eloquent as our participants were, but this will give you a small idea of the experience. Hope was the theme of the first week, and we used Donald Jackson's illumination, Valley of the Dry Bones, from Ezekiel. This was a great piece to introduce our series because it includes two elements common throughout the St. John's Bible that fit so nicely for the Week 1 theme of hope. When you see gold and illuminations in the St. John's Bible, this is a reminder of the presence of God. And when you see rainbows, it recalls the hope we have in God's promises. This was also a great introduction because it places hope in the context of despair, with 20th century images of genocide, terrorism, and ecological disasters. This seemed appropriate for 2020, which we can all agree has been a pretty difficult year. Because of the pandemic, so many have lost loved ones, had severe health problems, suffered financially, have been isolated. People took to the streets to express outrage over injustice, and the electoral cycle has been contentious and challenging. I'm sure we can all add to that list. So we started with a Jesuit theme, finding God in all things, and a question: where is God in all of this? One person noted that at first look she saw tragedy, but as she intentionally looked for the gold that reminds us of God's presence, as she changed her focus, she saw God consistently and much more than expected with all the victims. For another, the piles of bones brought to mind a trip to a village in Italy to visit the tombs of her ancestors, only to find that the graves had been removed. Apparently Napoleon wanted the land for something else, and the bones had been piled together. She commented that the scenes at the bottom of the page suggested to her how we are all part of God's family and that these tragedies impact us all. As a season of waiting, Advent recalls the time when the people of Israel waited for a Messiah. Now, this was a period of active waiting, not passive. And for the righteous ones in the Old Testament, that waiting involved faithful adherence to God's laws and the covenant. And here we see a menorah, a sign of the Old Testament covenant. The idea of active waiting is analogous to pregnancy. When the family gets the house ready for the new arrival and a mother's exercise, food, and other choices are all made in the context of the baby's coming. Someone else talked about how preparing her home for holiday visitors, in this case her adult children, allowed her to focus on others and brought a sense of orderliness and peace amid the chaos. Hope is also trusting in God's promises. Unfortunately, our earlier conversations had run a little long, so we didn't have as much time for this topic. But the brilliant colors of the rainbow across the top of the page serve as a vivid reminder of the hope we have in God and the knowledge we have that God keeps promises. One participant shared a very personal account of multiple difficult instances from the past year and how the waiting during those times required patience as she trusted God to take care of things. We also talked about sharing hope that even in difficult times, just having a visit through the window can bring hope to someone in quarantine or sick with COVID, that being present can bring hope to someone. I want to thank the St. John's Bible Organization for allowing us to share these images in our conversations and in these recaps. I also want to thank our own Greg Collins for his excellent photography that we've used in these sessions. And I want to thank you for taking time to watch this recap. Our next sessions will focus on peace, joy, and love. I hope you will join us.